Well, looking at the materials that we've set aside for the arc furnace, the only things we're missing now are 27 reinforced blast bricks and 6 blocks of steel. Each reinforced blast brick requires 1 steel plate, which needs 1 steel ingot, which conveniently we have exactly 27 steel ingots. So, smack, smack, and that's the blast bricks done. So now, all we need is, not that, all we need is 45 steels. So let's get that fermenting. In the meantime, well, first of all, let's grab some more wood. These canopy trees are good for getting wood, or charcoal, with a lumber axe, without leaving a bunch of floating crap in the sky. So, we've gotten some charcoal, so let's feed our endoflames. Also, I'm gonna plant some of these canopy trees. Canopy trees, that is what they're called. I wasn't tripping. I'm just gonna plant some of these. And you do have to be careful with these, because these do grow root systems underground, so you don't want to plant them directly over your basement. I'm going to pause this for a moment, and I'm going to try to make another terminal. This cable runs full, which is unfortunate. I have a dense cable lying around? I do. Well, let's do this. Let's stick the dense cable there. Let's disconnect that, which will disconnect the drives, and plug it here. And by that I mean we'll plug it here. Now this is only using 7 channels. So we can steal a bit off this run and install a terminal in the backyard. And there. Now we can access our ME system for the Botania Garden. The next thing we need right now is to make the runic altar. And that's just a bit of living rock and a mana pearl. And to get a mana pearl, you throw a pearl into some mana. Done. Now the other thing you need to supply this with mana to run it. And probably the simplest thing to do, you need to shoot mana at it with a mana spreader. So we could aim one of these mana spreaders at it and feed the flowers, or we could plonk a mana spreader onto the mana pool and then point that at the altar, and that will supply mana to the altar from the pool. So, plonk, swivel. Now, let's start making a few basic runes. Air, earth, fire, water. So we're going to need mana powder and mana steel for all 4. So, let's get that made first of all. You can make mana powder by throwing just about any form of powder in the mana pool. We're just going to use sugar because it's cheap. So, fling, and fling. So for water, we need sugarcane, which we just picked some up of. We need some bone meal. And we need a fishing rod. And finally, we need a bit of living rock. So the way you make runes is you throw the items onto the altar, and it feeds mana to it. When it's ready, put some living rock on it, hit it with a wand, you've got your runes. Fire is nether brick and gunpowder. We haven't found any nether wart yet, which is, unfortunate. We can make nether wart from blaze rods, which we have, and from a thing called an alchemy catalyst. We're going to need some more blaze rods, so we'll just make some up from our quest reward UU matter. And you have alchemy catalyst. Now, the way you use the alchemy catalyst is you stick it under a mana pool, and then once you've done that, that unlocks some recipes you can make with the mana pool you couldn't before, like turning a blaze rod into a nether wart. So, nether wart, nether brick, gunpowder, mana steel, mana powder. And I threw my book at it. Shift right click with an empty hand to get it out. Zap. Rune of Earth, stone, coal blocks, and shrooms. I also seem to not have any mushrooms handy. That's unfortunate. Well, what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna jump into the nether and see if we can find any growing on the surface. Oh, right there. Awesome. Just grab a couple of you. Question here is, does it have to be regular stone, or will granite do? Granite will do. And get rid of some of this shitstone. While that's fermenting, let's get our last rune going, which is string, feather, and do I have any carpet lying around? No. Do I have any wool lying around? No. Do I have any cotton lying around? Yes. This one's ready. Let's get it out. Zap. And let's throw you and you and you and you and you in. And zap. Now, these runes are used for a rather wide variety of Botania things. Particularly this thing, the Terrasteel Agglomeration Plate, which we will need to make Terrasteel, which will be part of our quest. But, in the meantime, let's make a couple useful little things here. Let's see if we can make a Sojourner's Sash and Pyroclast Pendant. For the Pyroclast Pendant, we will need a Rune of Summer. That's melon, slime, sand, air, earth. Have I found any melons? Yes. We have some sand lying around, and air and earth. Which, handily enough, are the two we happen to be holding in our hands. Right. One of the nice things about crafting runes is, if you use runes to craft another rune, you get the original runes back. They are catalysts, they're not consumed. There. Now, this is a bauble, which means it can go into one of these bauble slots, which in this case is the necklace slot. Now, what the Pyroclast Pendant does, let's go some distance away from our base, and let's play with the blast spell. I'm just going to set this spot of earth on fire. Now, if you walk in it, you take fire damage, of course, but the moment you're out of the fire, the pendant will extinguish you. It puts you, basically, if you're on fire, it puts you out, as long as you're not actively being set on fire. The other handy little thing is the Sojourner Stash. And that is also a bauble. It goes in the belt slot. It needs mana to work, so let's make a mana tablet. And let's put a bit of mana into it. Let's flip the pool into charging mode. Just throw the tablet in the pool. And as you can see, the pool is draining because we're putting mana in the tablet. So now, the moment I pick up the mana tablet, you can see I'm moving a bit faster now. And also, I can climb up 1 block tall blocks without having to jump. That's what the Sojourner Staff does. Before I go any further, I'm going to drain out this tablet, and I'm going to turn it into a ring, which is very simple. Just need 4 mana steals. Now this mana ring works the same as a mana tablet, but you can put it in your bauble slot. Now it's not taking up space in my inventory. Smooth.